Hello, this is Scott with WebClock, and today we're going to be going over our new scheduling module for version 9.01. First of all, of course, we're logged into the dashboard, and you can see here that if you go to Admin and then Scheduling Definitions, it actually opens up the Manage tab, and the scheduling features are all here. The first thing that I'd like to go to is the Show Schedules on Calendar. This actually allows you to define what week or days that you want to look at and work with. I'm going to go from the 13th all the way through the 26th. And I only want to see the employees in Department 2. So I'm filtering it by department. And this shows all of our employees in Department 2. Any schedules that are already defined show up on the calendar. And changing a schedule from one employee to another is as easy as clicking on the calendar and dragging it to the employee who is going to be taking that shift. So early morning John can't work Monday at 6 a.m., so inconsistent John is going to take over for him. You can modify the times at that point when you're changing it, or you can just click Update to go ahead and give that schedule to that employee. Now I'm going to go ahead and move that back to early morning John to show you something else that's very useful. If early morning John always works the same schedule, so in this case he always works Monday through Friday at these hours that we have set up here, you can simply go to Create Custom Upload Form, choose the week that you want to create the schedule for, so this is going to start the week of the 27th. I want to mirror this for 3 weeks. And I want to use the week of the 13th as the mirror. And I'm duplicating this schedule for early morning John. When you hit submit, you'll see that starting on the 27th, you have all the start and end times filled in. You also have the days off left blank, so you can see the schedule, verify it, and make changes here as needed before uploading the schedule. So on Friday the 12/14, I really don't want early morning John coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning. I want him to come in at 12 a.m. because I have work that I need him to do. So I can go ahead, come here, change this to 12 a.m., click done, and now he's working from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. on that day. When I click update, this actually completely populates his schedule. So it's not so much getting you an upload form that you have to upload later as it is giving you the ability just to set the schedule from here. Now if I go back to the Show Schedules on Calendar, which is my favorite place to create schedules because of how visual it is, I can actually start from the 27th and go forward, what did we say, 3 weeks? So I can go forward, let's say, until the 17th of December. And I'm still going to look at Department 2, starting on the 27th, because that's when I told it to start the schedule. I actually had skipped this previous week. So starting on the 27th, the schedule now populates out. And here's even the change for the early morning schedule to 12 a.m. instead of on the previous week where it was 2 a.m. From here, if you need to make any changes, it's just as easy as clicking on the schedule and changing the start and end time. So I want him to come in at 5 a.m. instead of 4 a.m. that day. Update it, and it's done. So that's how to use the Show Schedules on Calendar, and also how to upload a schedule or repeat a schedule, copy a schedule going forward. I do want to get back to today on this, which is not today because I didn't select today. So you have to select in the parameters your period that you actually want to see, and if it includes today, you need to include today on it for obvious reasons. There we go. So here's today. So the rest of this week, I need to set up time for night shift John, let's say. I can click on the day, it selects the right employee for me. Night shift John doesn't start until 11 p.m. And then he actually works getting off the next day at like 4 a.m. And it creates the shift here. And when you click on it, you can see that it carries over. Now, it only shows the beginning of the shift as to what day that it's showing on the calendar. So that's why you're not seeing this carrying over across the calendar view. So put in a couple more days here. He comes in at 10 p.m. that night. And on the 22nd, he's leaving at 5 a.m. So that's one way to make the updates to the calendar, and probably the easiest way to make the updates to the schedule, because you can see everybody's schedule laid out and it lets you actually fill in the details as you need them. The other thing that you can do is you can drag new schedule over to wherever you want to, and that basically does the same thing as clicking on it. So it's the same thing whether you drag the draggable event new schedule to a date or if you click on the date. It works exactly the same way. Now, let me go ahead and cancel out of that. And the other thing that you have in here is the show schedules by employee report. This one, you actually select the pay period that you want to see the schedule for. And this is going forward, of course. So this pay period, we're looking at 11/20. And this will show you the employee. This shows you what dates they're scheduled. If you have shift differential, client, task, and location all turned on and job function turned on, these will all populate. If you don't have them, they'll have NAs. All shifts will be shift 1 or zeros, as the case may be. So that's that. You can also export this to an Excel file, which will open. Let me get this over here. So the scheduling report shows you the employee ID, employee name, day of the week they're scheduled to work, time in, time out, all the same things you saw on the screen. This makes a nice printable version so you can see what's going on. You can also see any tasks or locations that are assigned. Also, the who's late in, early out report will now populate once the schedules are populated. And as you can see, early John was scheduled to come in at 6 a.m. He actually punched in at 4:30 p.m. He was supposed to punch out at 7 p.m. and he actually punched out at 8:13 p.m. So obviously out of variance on all sides. So this report is the easy way, once you have the scheduling set up, to be able to go ahead and verify employees that are punching in correctly. There's also a printable calendar view. You can select the entire month. Let's go with November. And this actually prints as a PDF file just like this, showing everybody's schedule on a calendar view for the month. So once you get the schedule set, you can go ahead and print the calendar view and distribute it to your employees or hang it up in a place where they can check their schedules. We also have the schedule versus actual report, which is down here on the bottom of the scheduling options, right above calendar view. You can choose the period that you want to go to see any variances in the schedule. I'll choose the current pay period and hit submit. This is going through and doing quite a bit of analysis, so it takes a second to load. And what it's going to show you is that during this period, 8 to 5 John was scheduled for 9 hours, worked 0 hours, so there's a variance of -9 hours. Anybody who, like early morning John, had a full schedule during that period, was scheduled for 86, didn't work any because it's the demo site and has a -86-hour variance. This report also takes into account any time off or holiday hours so that the employees will not get marked down for that. It will also show the first and the last time they worked during the pay period, and when the reporting schedule is. So you have the report beginning, report ending dates. That can be downloaded as a PDF file. It can be given as an Excel. And then there's an additional CSV file over here also that gives a detail report. So the Excel one is a summary. Schedule versus actual is a detailed report. And then there's a downloadable PDF file as well.